Glen Polk Autoplex in Gainesville, Texas. The Polks have always been good to me. I started with them 2002 in April. I started with Mr. Polk. And I watched his young'uns grow up. Me and Trent, he's like a son to me. We've done a lot of business and had a lot of fun. If you can't have fun when you're working, you don't want to get up in the morning. And I always couldn't wait to get up because I like to come to work. And we've enjoyed it, and we built a lot of good customers that returned to us. Some in Montana, some in Minnesota, a lot in Texas and Oklahoma. And we really appreciate them.
I'm Trent Polk. I've been a friend and a fan of Milford Fortenberry for, I guess, over 20 years. He came into the store and our sales manager introduced him to me, and he had his cowboy hat on and kind of just looking down at the ground, and I walked up and said, you know, okay, I'm the manager here and I hear you wanting a job, and all he did was kind of look up and go, yes sir. I thought, well, wow, that's something else there.
Hey, I'm Shawn Polk, and I've been a friend of Milford's for over 25 years. I remember Trent came in one day and he said, hey, I have this new salesman that I just hired, and y'all are gonna think I'm crazy, but just trust me on this one. I got to know Milford back when I was about 13 years old, working in the wash bay. I remember he brought a vehicle back to me and started telling me stories. It was about 30 minutes in before I could even start.
Well, I'm Connor Polk. I'm the director of our pre-owned super center, our used car building. First time I remember him, I was probably, I really remember freshman in high school, just really just cutting up with him and joking around, and hey, you gotta go meet Milford, is what my dad told me. I'm like, Milford, who's Milford? And then I walk by like, this is Milford, this is the guy I've heard so much about, and then I sit there and an hour goes by and longer goes by. I'm like, man, I wanna go up to the dealership and hang out with Milford.
I'm Brandon Carr, General Sales Manager over at the Ford store. I've been here 8 years. Obviously Milford was here when I started here. Milford is Milford, man. You're gonna get the same thing no matter what from 8 years ago compared to today.
I've known Milford for 10 plus years. I've heard stories about him before he actually came back to work the Glen Polk, how great of a salesman he was, how great of a person he was.
He's awesome. Where to start? So he's a movie star. He's got I think he has or had a Guinness Book of World Records for cars being sold. He's had some small businesses.
I've had the blessed opportunity to work with Mr. Milford. He's taught me a lot. He's taught me that it's not always about the car or the truck deal, it's about people.
They've always had good people around, and that makes one thing. You gotta have a good team. There ain't no such thing as I. It takes a team in the car business to make it work. And that's what they have always kept around me, was a good team. And right now, I think he got the best managers and finance people that I've ever worked with.
You know, I think Milford's been here for so long because the relationship that we have with him is very similar to the relationship that he builds with his customers, and it mirrors the relationship that we build with our customers.
He told me personally the other day, he's like, I just got a few things I want to do before I move on. So we'll be here picking up the slack when he leaves.
And that's what makes a big difference in doing a dealership. And they've always tried to bend over backwards with customers that's had problems. There's gonna be something to come up. There ain't nothing perfect. But every once in a while there'll be one you gotta, do something, and Mr. Folks always stepped in and did whatever it took to get it done and get you back on the road, and that's what counts.
What's your best deal on this 3/4 ton four-wheel drive diesel?
Well, here comes Mr. Polk. He said he had a field full of, what will you give off MSRP? $4,000?
Lower.
$5,000?
Lower.
$6,000?
Lower.
$7,000?
How about $8,000? That's a deal.
How can you sell them so cheap?
The unique thing about Milford is he brings life experience to selling cars too. He was a farmer before that. Of course, I'm sure he's mentioned he's been in the movies and all kinds of things. So he brings a lot of to the table as far as mentoring the other salespeople.
She said, well, if you'll go in and get in one of them lines, I'll get you in a movie, maybe. I said, ma'am, I wouldn't stand in one of them lines to see Elvis Presley rise again, much as I loved him. She said, well, look. She wrote something on a piece of paper and handed it to me. She said, you be up there Monday morning at 9 o'clock at that place. I said, okay, I might do that. That next morning, the phone rang, and I answered it, and it was a woman. She said, oh, we're so excited you're going to be in our movie. I said, I am. She said, yes, sir. I said, well, I'll talk to you then. So she said the Coen brothers are going to fly down and talk to you. So they flew down, and we talked for about 45 minutes, and they said, you're going to be in our movie. I can get the part from Bristol. It'll take 2 weeks. Here's your pomade.
2 weeks? That don't do me no good.
Here's Ford Auto Man's Bristol.
Hold on now. I don't want this pomade. I want Dapper Dan.
I don't carry Dapper Dan. I carry Fop.
Well, I don't want Fop, goddammit. I'm a Dapper Dan man.
Watch your language, young fella. This is a public market. Now, if you want Dapper Dan, I can order it for you. Have it in a couple of weeks. There was a girl sitting beside of me. She said she was Holly Hunter. Well, I didn't know her from, I don't know, no movie star. Come back in, she had a little fella with her with Bermuda shorts on and a Miller Lite cap walking around. He said, I'm George. I said, well, I'm Milford. I didn't pay him no attention. So finally he come around, got right in front of him, and he stuck his hand out. He said, I'm George Clooney. I said, oh, I said, my daughter's glad I'm going to be working with you. He said, I'm damn sure glad somebody in your family knows who I am. And so me and him was buddies after that. We got to be good friends.
Just to add to Milford's legend, I mean, he didn't ask to be in Oh Brother Where Art Thou. He didn't ask to be a movie star. A lady caught him on the street and said, man, this guy would be perfect for a movie, and that's just the persona of Milford.
Apparently him and Clooney got pretty tight. Now if I was going to be disappointed about Milford or something, it's that he never got George Clooney inside the dealership to come and see us. That would have been pretty cool.
We'll call him the Dapper Dan Man because the obvious, everybody knows about his little stint there in Hollywood with George Clooney.
So he's a movie star. He's got I think he has or had a Guinness Book of World Records for cars being sold.
That guy right there, they definitely broke the mold with him, and it's probably a good thing. He's got stories that he'll tell you, and they're mostly true, mostly, heavy on the mostly.
Milford's stories are bar none as entertaining to me as they are to him if you hear him tell them.
I can tell you he knows more people than anyone I've ever met in my life, and more people know him, more importantly, too. He's one of those...
say hi, just to have a cup of coffee with him.
This man just asked me to print his birthday list just a few days ago of all his previous customers so he could handwrite birthday cards and send them out this year. That's something he's had me do since he started for us. That's thousands of birthday cards, handwritten. Who does that anymore? Milford still does it, that's who.
Well, my mother, she had a lot of effect on me, my Uncle Henry, and I'd like to say thank you to all my children, and naturally to my wife. We dated for 2 weeks and decided to get married, and it lasted for 33 years. I learned that, the best thing to do was just say yes, ma'am. And she raised the kids, and I made the living, and we had a good life. And I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Watson. It started me, to Jack Heron, boss I worked for 16 years, selling Toyotas and BMWs that passed away, and to Trent and to Mr. Polk for hiring me and giving me an opportunity here in Texas. And I was their top salesman for many years. And they have been mighty good to my family. That's what makes anything work, is everybody working together.
Milford, I just want to take this time to tell you how much I love you, how much I've enjoyed working with you, how much we've taught each other along the way, and I just truly value your friendship, and I really hope that you get everything you want to get done. Go see the things you want to go see, and just enjoy your time away from the car business. And we appreciate you and we love you.
Milford, buddy, it was great working with you. I appreciate it very much. I hope you truly enjoy your retirement, even though I know you're not truly retiring. Milford would never retire and do nothing.
Thank you, Milford, for all the time we've had here at the workplace at Polk Autoplex. Really appreciate all the jokes and just all the back and forth we've had throughout the years. It's really left a lasting impression. I won't forget it.
Milford, thanks for all the good times. Sad to see you leave, but I'm happy that you're actually going to do a little bit of traveling and enjoy yourself. Can't wait to meet up and hear about your stories when we do lunch together.
I do want to tell Milford thank you. I want to tell him thank you from the bottom of my heart. My kids love him, my wife loves him. He's just one of those genuine guys. It's going to be a sad day here at Polk to see him leave. I'm not too excited about it because I love having him around. But it's his time, it's his season in life to move on to bigger and better things. That's all I got.
Milford Fortenberry, I want to thank you for all you've done for the Polk family, my family. You kind of set the bar early on, and I don't know where any of us would be right now if it weren't for Milford Fortenberry. And I wish you the best, the happiest retirement, and I hope you have a large time, and I know you will.
Definitely bittersweet to say thank you to Milford, and because that means kind of goodbye, but it's definitely not goodbye. I know that our communication won't stop just because that desk won't be filled anymore. I will miss seeing his face every day, for sure.
Big thank you, Milford. Super happy for you. Congratulations on your retirement. It's been a pleasure knowing you, and we've had a long run. Keep sending them out here, buddy. Let's rock and roll.
I can't imagine what it would have been like to not have Milford Fortenberry in my life all these years. And for me, I want to tell Milford thank you. I want to thank him not only for the years of service and what he's done for our organization, but I want to thank him for making me a better car owner. And he has. He made me a better manager. He's helped make me a better father, a better man, a better boss. It's a blessing to have him. I wish him all the best. And I'm sure whatever his next adventure is, he'll be the top dog on that too.
I'm Milford, and I want to thank everybody that's been a customer of mine and helped me through my journey in life. And my customers especially, thank you, because y'all all come by and see me when you get on oil change, and sometimes you just come by to see me to hug my neck, my girlfriends. I got a lot of girlfriends out there, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
My mom, Mary Polk, Glenn's wife, used to work in the accounting department. She came in the office one day and Milford and I were sitting down. He had a customer. She had a question, I don't know what it was, something about accounting. And Milford looked at her and said, "Mary, that can wait. We're in the middle of doing a car deal." Now this is my mom, the owner's wife. She looks at me, looks at him, and we'll keep this PG version, but she had some choice words to say to Milford. Well, Milford had some choice words to say back, and my mom looked at me and she like, "What are you gonna do about it?" And all I did was this. And that's all I could do with Milford, so.
I've watched Milford run people off, his own customers, and won't deal with them again because their handshake was no good when they made a deal.
Well, the funny stories with Milford, there's literally one to 10 a day, but I think probably one of the funniest things, I don't know that it's a story, but probably one of the things that struck me early on with Milford is he doesn't like working with people, especially men, that wear short breeches, meaning shorts for layman's terms, non-Milford terms. He just feels like everybody, if they come in a place of business, they ought to be wearing pants. So I've always thought that was kind of funny. He has gotten off of that over the last couple of years, but he would take it very personal if somebody showed up. Yeah, he said, "I had to get up this morning and put pants on. I feel like he ought to too." So
he's quick to toss keys to a customer and tell them, "Hey, go find it out there on the lot. Show it to yourselves. Answer any questions you need."
All right, a funny Milford story. I had just started in the business. I was pretty green, a couple months in, and I'd sold this truck with a lift kit, and it was leaning to one side. And Milford said, "David, what's the matter with that truck?" And I said, "Well, it's leaning to one side. I think something's wrong with the lift." And he said, "No, all you got to do is let some air out of the other side and it'll set back level." I just never forgot that. One of Milford's favorite stories is how he had a customer come in with short pants on one day, and he said he wouldn't sell him a car, and he sent the guy home to go put pants on and come back before he would do business with him. Now, if you were going to do business with Milford, it was going to be the right way.
Man, he drove his daughter's car in one day. This is a long time ago. I was a service advisor, and said he hit a critter or something, and it's a Dodge Challenger Scat Pack. Hit a critter while he was driving down the road, and he wanted me to see, he thinks it's still in there, wanted me to see if I could get it out, or see if we could get it out, and sure enough, there was a raccoon that went right through the front spoiler and was hanging out in the front bumper area of the Challenger, and it was pretty darn funny.
What's a funny story about Milford is when he gets to telling his stories, and again, they're just the same stories over and over and over again, but Milford gets to cracking up so much that he can hardly breathe, and it's just great to see Milford laughing. There's too many stories to name.
One thing we love about Milford is his love for pretty women, as he puts it. Milford has not met, let me just tell you, when Milford talks about pretty women, that means all women. Shapes, sizes, colors, ages, you name it. This man is girl crazy. And what's crazy is they're in love with him. They bring him flowers. They give him hugs. They bring him baked goods. They wear his "I bought a car from Milford" t-shirt. I mean, the man's girl crazy. That much I know. And I see why, because they come see him right and left